All right, so the white pickup. People want to see more of it. I want to see more of it. So I'll tell you what I've learned, and maybe we can mess with it a little bit more. It's super windy today, so not really very handy to be working on it, but hey, we got to get stuff done. I just hope you can hear. So we'll get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. This is the super duper cheap Super Duty that I bought on an auction. We'll sit in here and look at how dirty it is and talk about what we've learned so far. So this was bought on an auction on a whim. It said the transmission was bad. Also, it had no power. They said the rear end cover was, or the rear end was messed up because the fork went through it, whatever. So I bought it on a whim for $1,500 because I thought, hey, this is a pretty new vehicle. So anyway, in the last one, we got it to crank, but it does not start. The code that it threw said that it was not getting communication to the fuel pump module, I think is what it was. So I ordered that. It has not showed up yet. However, since the last video, I had somebody reach out to me who knew more about this truck, and I'm not going to say any details of who it was or what, but basically I got more of the story of what was the deal with this truck. And the story was they had had trouble with it a previous few times where it must have been electrical, or they thought, because they thought there was something wrong with the transmission, but then they tried it again sometime, and then it was fine, and they were driving it around again, and they were coming back. Supposedly it was coming down the highway, and all of a sudden they said it was like it shifted from high gear to first gear, and the engine died, and then ever since that day it has never run again. And they tried to mess with it, and they couldn't get anything to happen. And then from that day also, the rear end was locked up before ever having gotten crunched by anything. So now, what this leads me to believe is back to my original theory when I was messing with it, that an inertia switch was tripped, because that is what would exactly happen if this... What I think happened is not that the transmission went out, but given all this such stuff together, I am thinking, I wonder if one of the brakes locked up on the rear end, and that on the highway, when the brake locked up, it made the transmission downshift immediately from 6th gear to 1st gear because it thought something bad was happening. It also thought it was in an accident, which would have tripped the inertia switch and shut off the fuel pump. And that explains why it would never, ever, ever run again, even when they were messing with it. Now, I have looked all over this truck. I cannot find an inertia switch. And what I was told was that they did do away with it eventually and put it into the computer where you're just supposed to shut it off and on a few times and it'll reset. But if you look up an inertia switch for a 2016 Super Duty, they show one, and it's the same like with the red button. So I'm wondering if it's not in the location they say, or if it has been somebody, when they were messing with it, pulled it out, and there's just a plug hanging that's supposed to be for it, and I don't know which one that is or what. Because that certainly, to me, would explain why it doesn't run. I mean, it's not getting any fuel from the back end. You know, then it says it lost communication. Now, another possible scenario is that it just is a coincidence that, that day it tripped it. They couldn't get it started again. They had it towed. And then after sitting a while, the fuel pump module went bad, which is a common thing on these trucks, which that's another thing too we'll talk about in a minute. But so I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to have to do some more looking here. I took the glove box out and away, and I sure didn't see any of the reset switch. Then I read somewhere that maybe check over here, because some years they moved it over here, but it just doesn't make sense to me, because it has the little cutout with the fuel pump with the slash through it, but there's no button in there. So maybe this one is new enough that it is in the computer, and it's just a coincidence that that module went bad. But boy, it sure seems like that's what's wrong with it. It just tripped that switch, and it's not getting any fuel. So we have gathered several things since the last video. And okay, one thing is this differential cover, which came in the mail, and it should be what we need to put her back together. So we'll tackle that at some point. Then what else? I might have it in my red truck, some of the stuff too. I'll have to get, but okay. Couldn't get the spare tire down. Everybody said, oh, that's in your glove box. Well, guess what? It wasn't in my glove box. There was nothing in my glove box. And it wasn't in the console, and it wasn't under the seat, and whatever. So I bought a new one. Bought a brand new one of these things. Basically, you clip this on the end of your deal and put it in there and go. However, even after doing that, I still can't get the spare tire down with it. So that thing is obviously messed up. So I'm going to have to end up cutting the cable anyway. So that was $85 wasted. But that's what I get for trying to do things the right way. So there's that. So that's nice. But I also did buy, I bought a Haynes shop book for it, because that's the brand I've always used with vehicles. I like the way they're laid out. And hopefully it's got wiring diagrams in it. And I also bought a different type of scanner that's supposed to do more stuff, and it's supposed to hook up to my phone somehow, so we can try that. The little red scanner I just borrowed from the auto parts store, and I don't know anything about this brand or whatever, but it did get the code that we, you know. So that's what I'm saying is where we're at. But I'd really like to look this over some more. I just wish that there was a switch and I'm just not seeing it, because that would just be so much more simple. That module just has not come yet, so I don't know if I was scammed and that's not a real place I ordered it from, or if they're back ordered, or if I'm gonna have to just go to the dealer anyway. But Napa didn't show one, and I don't know. It's supposedly a common part that fails, so yeah. Well, we'll go back out here in the wind and see what we can accomplish here. But I'm gonna look all over. I looked over here in this area. Somebody said look over here, and I sure don't see anything. Somebody said maybe that connector up there was bad. It does look to me like somebody's been in here hacking away, but I don't know that that is gonna be any of our problem. But I don't really know what some of these wires do, so I'm gonna have to investigate on that some more. One guy told me that his accelerator pedal was the fault on his, but I'm not just gonna go buying parts. Like somebody said, fire the parts cannon at it. Well, that's cool, but I think we can be a little more scientific than that. So if we go back to this side, see, this is where I originally started. It's got the fuel pump with the slash. You're supposed to take that out, and there's supposed to be a button right there. Well, there ain't no button to push, and we can see all that from the other side. So then I took the glove box down, and buddies, I'm just not seeing it in there, unless, like I said, it was unplugged. And that is where my wiring diagram, I think, is going to come in handy, because you know, maybe that's like there's a plug back there that's not hooked to anything. Is that supposed to be the plug? And they pulled the switch off thinking that it was bad. But I don't know. I just really wish I could find the switch laying in there somewhere, because that would definitely make this project easier. I think we looked in here last time, and I showed you all this, but there just is nothing. There's no thing with a reset button. Like I said, unless that thing up there that's not plugged in anything would be the thing. Someone else said that the inertia switches were super sensitive on these, so that would definitely explain it tripping. But see, there's things that make me wonder too. Did somebody, you know, maybe somebody thought, well, I don't want to speculate on that, but what I'm saying is, did somebody else think they were going to get a good deal on it, so they pulled something out so that it wouldn't run? You know, that is, I guess, entirely possible, but highly unlikely. But that connector up there that goes nowhere, that's what, it's got a bunch of wires in it though. Well, alright. And I hate to disappoint you, but I very much doubt that I'm going to get it started in this video. This is just more of an update. But what I want to see is, does the owner's book tell us if there's an inertia switch? Because I was thinking that they always said in the owner's book, in the event of an accident, there is a reset. And maybe in this one it says that doesn't exist anymore, and your procedure is whatever. So that's what I'm going to look up and see if I can find it, and we'll see. Would it say accident? No, probably not. Battery, booster sheet, capacities, changing a fuse, cleaning products, emissions control, engine immobilizer. That could be worth a read. 63. Remember 63. Fuel shutoff, 212. Let's go to that. Fuel shutoff. In the event of a moderate to severe collision, this vehicle is equipped with a fuel pump shutoff feature that stops the flow of fuel to the engine. Not every impact will cause a shutoff. Should your vehicle shut off after a collision, you may restart your vehicle. You may restart your vehicle by doing the following: turn the engine off, turn the engine to crank, turn the engine off, turn the ignition on to re-enable the fuel pump. Maybe we're not doing that correct procedure, because every time I've tried it, I've turned the engine on, turned it to crank, shut it off, and then the next time I went right back to crank again. Maybe I have to follow the correct procedure in order. Turn the engine off, turn the engine to crank, turn it off, and then turn it back on. Because I think that when I have been cranking it, I turn it back to the on position, but not off immediately. And maybe you have to do it in just that order. I know on my international school buses, there's a very specific procedure you follow to get it to clear out the service light and stuff. So I might put the battery cable back on and give this a try and see if I can get it to do this thing, because it sure says that it's not got communication with the fuel pump module. So let's give her a go and try to follow the correct procedure. Sometimes following the procedure is what it needs. Okay. Now the trick's gonna be, don't let the wind rip our new hood off, you know? Okay. Okay, yep, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Okay, turn the engine. What did it say? Engine's off. Crank off. Off. And on. I don't hear any. Okay. Ooh, I thought I heard fuel pump that time, but maybe not. It sounds like it wants to, but it just won't. All right. Okay, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Let's try our new gizmo and see if it will pull up the same code as before. And then, of course, the first thing I do immediately is drop the important instructions. All right. Maybe perhaps we should first verify what we have done in the previous testing. So we're going to run this test again. Codes found 0. Read codes. Fuel pump module control circuit open. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Let's do it again. And lost communication with fuel pump control module. Circuit open. That's the one, PO25A, which makes me question my life choices. That's what makes me wonder if it isn't like a, you know, it's not even getting power there. Like something has tripped in its little brain. Wow, it ain't gonna have the code we need. Which doesn't really matter because it told us what it was. Alright. Yes, scanner, I know you don't like it that you're laying on the floor. PO25A. Let's try. See, it also has electrical gremlins because those lights are on. Unless they go off a set time after the fact. But let's try Ford Super Duty PO25A. Ah, that could be a failed, the fuel pump control module. PO25A code's triggered when the powertrain control module detects abnormal voltages in the fuel pump control module circuit. So, now the thing is going to be just to find where that is. I've had two different locations brought to my attention. One was under the spare tire, or on top of the spare tire, which is what led me to try to get the spare tire down. And the other one said it's under the cab on the driver's side, and I didn't see it up under there. But I don't know. Somebody else commented, now that I think about it too, that there was a ground or a green braided wire that went bad underneath the truck, and that was the problem. So we're gonna, if we can find this thing, and we can at least check the wiring and make sure that the wiring is good, you know, and then if that piece comes, we've got it. But we got to do something here. I'm just not I'm not happy with not making any progress. So here's a little jobby I got. It was $100, I think, and it supposedly does a whole bunch of stuff. And so now the question is, am I smart enough to figure out how to use this? Well, download the free app now. I guess that's the first step of what I'm going to have to do. So let me see if it will let me. Ah, dang it. There we go. Okay, it's taking me to watching me. Let's get this thing. Let's install this thing. That's a happy sound, so hopefully that means good things are happening. Then we're going to have to Pairing is done automatically when Bluetooth is enabled on your mobile device. Read before use, okay? So, all this thing is, it looks just like a plug with a little wireless receiver. Open the app. Uh-oh. Don't have an account. I don't want an account. I just want to make this go. When do I have to have a... If I have the thing, why do I need an account? Quick start guide. I got this from the old parts store, by the way, so I'm filming this looking like a moron, mainly for the fact that if you're deciding if you want one or not, maybe this will help you, and we'll figure this out together. Okay, I did number 1. I did number 2. I stuck my finger on that picture. Number 3, email address and password. Okay, I like how there's no instructions. It's just like, don't have an account. Create an account. Sure, do I agree to stuff I've never read? I guess. Do you have a compatible scan tool? Yes. Okay, allow. Turn Bluetooth on. I think Bluetooth on. Oh, that Oliver guy sent me something. Bluetooth is on. Plug the scan tool into your vehicle. Okay. She's a tight one, boys. There we go. Alright. Turn your ignition on. I did that. Show me how to turn my ignition on. Continue. Searching for scan tool. Dongle. Sure. My dongle. Need to pair up my dongle so it'll work with my phone. Success. Continue. Learn more about your tool. Well, I could just go all kinds of places with this. Do I want to learn more about my tool? I think I know how to use my tool at this stage in life. We'll just... Done. I want to go back to the... whatever. No! Go away. Okay. Check engine. Where did you purchase your store? What do I care? That ain't none of your business. Not sure. We'll just say that. I stole it. To ensure the safety and proper operation, blah, 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 blah. Ensure vehicles parked, turn your engine off, turn your ignition off. Begin update. Why do I have to update? I just bought the dang thing. That's a bunch of baloney, friends. I don't understand. 6, 7, 8. I don't understand all that. So far, ease of use, I don't know. What do we want to say if you want one of these? Is it easy to use? There's an awful lot of stuff to do. Keep your mobile device near your vehicle and scan tool during this process. Failure to do so could result in damage to your scan tool. Updating bootloader. Dongle is rebooting. Well. Boy, those dash lights, or those lights there, still haven't went out. Of course, I think my key was on the whole time, so maybe that's... I'm sure this truck has electrical issues. But whatever. Jeez. It's really frustrating me. This is going to take her forever. Please remain on this page. Do not close the screen or navigate to other apps. What am I going to do if I can't play on my telephone while I'm waiting for something boring to happen? If I was in the bathroom, I guess I'd read the shampoo bottle like the old days, but sitting here in the truck, what am I supposed to do? Read one of these books? That ain't gonna happen.
2,000 years later.
Let's see if this book tells us where the fuel pump module is. Fuel pump control module replacement. 4A-7. 4A-7. Fuel pump module is there, but where's the fuel pump control module? Fuel pump control module is located on the left side frame rail under the cab. Okay. So, does that look like the thing in the pictures? I don't know. Now, what I'm going to do, whilst this is still going, let's just set this up here, because that's... Okay, we know where it's supposed to be. Let's look at the wiring diagram and see what color the wires are that go to this thing. Because without that information, we're not going to know what we're looking for. Heater, power distribution box, blower motor, power window sliding systems, windshield wiper and washers, power door locks, exterior lighting, interior lighting. I forgot why our lights don't ever go off ever. Audio system, cruise control circuit, fuel pump circuits, fuel tank selector valve. No, that's not it. Well, this book ain't going to tell me what I want to know, because it ain't going to tell me what color the wires are. Like the olden days, the wiring diagrams in the books would say, hey, your wire... Okay, some of them do. Maybe I'm just missing it. Cruise control switch. I can't figure out who texted me because I can't move that. Steering control, body control, brake pedal, steering wheel, steering control module. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute because I think this thing's done. Firmware updated. Continue network scan. Continue without scan. Check engine. Do I need to turn key on? Turn your vehicle on. We'll see if this one tells us the same information as the last scan tool. And if it does, then I feel like we're in the right direction. I've also heard of guys saying that the connector to the fuel pump control module went bad, or the wires were loose in the plug, and then that caused trouble, which I really want to find in that wiring diagram, because if I could unplug it from there, I should be able to make a jumper wire and make it, what did I say the mileage was on this sucker? Show me the miles. No, right rear door ajar. Right rear door ajar. Okay, that's why my lights are staying on. It's got, okay, I know what to do now. I don't know, let's do 212,500, because I have no idea. Two engine. Yep, same exact thing. Can't do that obviously because it's not running. Okay. Oh. Okay. Permanent. It's got to be that fuel pump control module. Okay, let's shut this off. Let's go back home. Complete scan report. Select modules to read. Engine. Tap to load more modules. What more modules could we load? getting sick of this installing nonsense. Oh. Read all codes? Read all codes. Sure. It's gonna go through everything. It's gonna find 2 in the engine. We're not gonna know about the brakes because it doesn't run. Airbag 0. Tire pressure. Tire pressure. The light's on the dash. 0. Wonder if it's gonna go through and it'll say 0 on everything except for the not applicable. That doesn't make sense to me because it's got like a powertrain control module. We'll see what it says when it gets there. Is it just going to say not applicable on all these? Steering column control module. Okay, well, service function. Predicted repairs. 19 maintenance items. What does it say we should have? Estimated cost, $1,500. Engine oil, drain plug, and gasket. Engine oil filter, engine oil. Lube lock cylinders, lock hinges and pins. Inspect fluids. Inspect cooling system. Inspect. Yeah, okay. Good. No warranty data for this vehicle. 390. Ooh. Technical service bulletins. 85 electrical. Oh my gosh. Look at all those. That could be the most valuable piece of buying this little scanner, is if it lets me read the service bulletins. It's not a diesel. It's not a diesel. Various engines. Slow fuel fill in muddy or dusty environments. Some equipped with 6.2 or 6.8. 3-valve engine may experience premature automatic shutoff of the fuel fill nozzle. Premature shutoff. That's pretty serious. Okay, well, we're going to go away with all that. Bye-bye. We're going to unplug this. And we can shut this off. What did it say? Come on, tell me what the... Right rear door ajar. That's where we're going to go next. Okay, we're going to put this little doodad back in its little holder. I'll put it to bed. Let's put the sticker back on it. Good, good. Okay, it says that the right rear door is ajar. And that could be part of my problem with this. The light's not going out, which is in turn draining my battery, which is in turn causing troubles. Local tattoo artist giving back. What's she giving back? Oh, Facebook. It's amazing how you can lead me down the rabbit hole of sadness. What'd I say? Right rear door ajar? Okay. Oh, I'm glad to see that it's gotten less windy out here. Okay. Now, in order to do this correctly, I bet I'm not going to be able to do it correctly. Let me close this door. Well, it won't do that, will it? Because the little striker thing. But I wonder how a guy gets into there. It must be in here somehow. That's a project for another day. I thought maybe it was simple. Silly me, though, to think. Let's slam it aggressively. It's still on. But we'll have to address that at some point, but I want to hear it run first. So now, I'm going to do everybody's favorite activity in the winter time, laying on the ground. Okay. According to that picture, it should be up here. That should be this jobby. That looks like the thing that I ordered. So the next question is, how does it come loose? I see that there's two nuts. Well, there's 3 nuts. I'm one of them, and the other 2. I could take the bolts out and get the whole thing down here where I could see what I'm doing, or I could just keep prying on it until something breaks. I wonder if I just aggressively manhandle it, if it would make any difference. But that is it. That's the thing. Okay, will you run the fuel pump now? Nope. Okay. All right, well, I feel better because I have located this thing. However, another problem I have is that the new one just hasn't gotten here yet. So I don't know that I'm gonna be able to do a whole lot more today, other than I'm gonna have to take this loose in order to see what I'm doing with this plug, or I'm gonna destroy it, because I can't see. I guess I could get my little mirror and hold it up there and see if I can figure out how to release it from here. Or does this the thing that releases it, maybe? I don't know. I guess I'll get something and try to get this loose. Maybe it isn't getting a good ground, you know. Just looking at the thing, it doesn't look as cruddy as some of the ones I've seen. But if I could figure out which wires were what, I could maybe jumper around them and make the fuel pump run. That's what I'm getting at, you know. Now, what was another guy told me? That he had trouble with a braided green wire, and that was his trouble. Well, this isn't the stupidest place they could have put this, but it definitely is not something that I really am enjoying yet. So I don't know. Well, unfortunately, this is probably where we're gonna have to leave this video, because I don't have that fuel pump module thing. And I looked online, and the place I ordered it from, that I thought you could order Ford parts online or whatever it did, is sending it from a Ford dealer in Florida. So figure that out. And it doesn't show any record of, I'm not really sure if I'm getting hosed or what, but if I look on, I use PayPal to pay for it, and it shows authorization in progress, and it shows the name of the Ford dealer, and it says it will be your account will be charged when the transaction is completed. So I don't know if they have not done it. I never got any email confirmation other than through PayPal, which usually PayPal protects you, so I don't think I'll be out of the money. But you would think that a Ford dealer would say something. So I guess I'll call them tomorrow and see what the deal is or how that works. If they're not going to do it, then I'll just go to my Ford dealer in town and order it. I thought that by ordering it right away, I would have it so that I could continue on this project, but it ain't happening. So we'll sort that out and get it, and then hopefully if I replace that, then this sucker will fire to life, and that'll be one step in our process. I will get the correct differential oil and all the necessary stuff for that, so we can service the rear end and put that back so that it's drivable. If it does fire up, we can try it and see if it'll move and drive. I suspect that it will. I suspect that the problem was that the brake locked up, or something has failed in the brakes in the back, and then I got it unlocked whenever I, you know, put it in neutral and pulled it with the tractor. It moved back and forth. So I'm thinking that that's what the trouble is, and maybe we'll have to go into the brakes and figure out what's going on, which would be super cool, because then that means we got a running and driving truck for $1,500 plus another couple $100 for stuff I've done to it so far, which ain't nothing. So that'd be a pretty sweet deal. This little thing, I think, seems to be like a good deal so far. I mean, it didn't cost that much money, $100, and it hooked up to my phone pretty simply once it did all its updating and stuff. And it's supposed to scan a bunch more stuff than you know what I'm saying. It's supposed to do more stuff than like that little basic code reader thing that the store let me borrow. So I can take that back to them, because now I know that this will do the same thing for certain. And yeah, that's where we're gonna get going to. So I flopped out on the spare tire lock thing, but it turns out that the thing isn't even under there anyway, so we'll have to get the spare tire down eventually. And I'm saying we're probably going to just be cutting the cable to do that, because it ain't worth it anymore at this point. I don't know what more I could do to get that thing to come loose. I don't know. But anyway, we're making progress, even if it's slow. I got that light to go out, so we're going to say that that was the success of this video. I just slammed the old door back there, and now the light's out. So that must be the a very finicky thing. I don't know. But we turn it on now. Let's see, does it say anything about oil change required? It's in 2-wheel drive. If I do that, will it go to 4-wheel drive? 4x4 shift in progress. I can hear it down there clicking. 4x2. But yeah, no more door ajar thing, so that's good. Oil change and low tire pressure, which we can fix later on. It'd be sweet if you just start up and, you know, run, but you won't. So that's cool. I also do need to go back to another parts store, I guess, and try to get the correct relay for that fuel pump. I was going to go ahead and swap it anyway. Maybe that is our problem, but it doesn't seem like it, because I flip-flopped it with another one. This one is very close, but it has an extra pin, and it won't go in there, so I'm going to have to find, you know, whatever it takes. But anyway, not very interesting maybe, but it is an update on the old white truck, and I'm gathering supplies, so hopefully pretty soon we can make this into a runner, because that would be super cool. I kind of like the interior of this truck, as far as it seems like it's got a lot of room. More room maybe than the old red one there. But anyway, I wish that I could have accomplished more for you, but that's where we are. We got to try out a new scanner and see what we've learned so far about the story of the truck. So things look hopeful still at this point, and we'll see where we get to from here. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am. Or, if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.